Hi, everyone. It's Rick Lawrence, along with Fred Oduyoye, founder of Reachable Reconciliation, for another one of our short conversations about strategies around living a reconciling lifestyle. Today, we're going to talk about something connected to the new year and resolutions, because or whether we want to or not, we've heard the word resolution like a lot already. We're 3 days into the year ish, and we've already heard this word a lot. And it just produces a lot of angst for most people, sometimes hopeful and hopeful feelings, but mostly angst. And then later on, as we head into the spring, certain guilt around resolutions. And I've heard already some people making some alternate resolutions around things like racial justice and healing. In fact, I just saw one a friend sent to me early this morning, and it was a list of top 10 resolutions that this writer had collected from friends of hers. And one of them was make a plan to seek racial justice and healing. And I was telling Fred that as soon as I read that, make a plan to seek racial justice and healing, it sounds good, but it just sounds so unfocused and too huge to even take a first step. So it's the kind of thing that you immediately say, of course, yes, I want to. And then, well, what do I do? So the great thing about Fred, what you have come up with in your 5R process is it's doable. It's in the very name, reachable reconciliation. So just as a reminder for you watching, those 5Rs, it's a looping process that Fred has generated. And those 5Rs are reactions, reflection, repairs, reaching, all under the context of the last R, relationship. So when we do these things, we move toward a reconciling lifestyle in every area of our life. So Fred, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about, well, what's something that we can do? What is reachable? If we resonate with that idea to move toward a reconciling lifestyle, what's something we can do here as we kick off a new year?
Yeah, no, that's good, Rick. I mean, you mentioned the word plan as you were reading the one written piece that you saw, and quite honestly, like a lot of people think that they're great planners, but in reality, they're really not that great, right? And so you ever had somebody go, what's your 3-month, and what's your 6-month, and what's your, your 9-month and yearly plan? And people come up with stuff and they can't figure out what they're going to do for the next, 2 weeks. All right.
So true. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about reaching, right, what could you tangibly try to reach for? What realistically can you reach for just in a short period of time, right? Because if you can capture that, right, first of all, it seems more attainable if it's shorter, and then you set yourself up for a win for the next 2 weeks, right? Or the next 2 weeks. And so I think, Rick, part of that is just our reaction to things. Even as we looked at a lot of the events that took place over the past, year, 2 years, you had this reaction, to a George Floyd or, a situation, but the reactions, they were like, they didn't really come with a plan. It was just something, I'm going to react. And now we got to try to do something. There was no plan for it, so it just fizzled out, right, Rick? And so as you're talking about now, I mean, I agree. I hear, everybody's got these, especially the first 30 days, people are trying to lose weight for the next 30 days or the next, 3 months, or, and people are fasting, because they want to see what God's saying, and that's good. But there's got to be some action behind it. There's got to be a plan, and you got to make it reachable. And I think if you say, Rick, in the next 30 days, what is reachable, right, for us? And I think as individuals, if we feel like our heart is, feel like we're compelled, if we feel like spiritually, if we feel like relationally, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to embrace people more and support people more. I think in the next 30 days, what's a new view, that you could have? Use the next 30 days to really see the world, like learn and listen and watch, but then also for yourself, what do you want the world to really look like? And how do you see yourself in it? So if you can take time over the next 30 days to think about that, but then also simultaneously while you're seeing and viewing and learning and imagining, think of one word that comes to mind. What's the one word, right, that you can now invite God to just kind of open that word up to you, whether it's, whether it's in justice, whether it's peace, whether it's relationships, whether it's equal opportunity, whatever it may be, and let that word just kind of, almost like sitting on the grill with God, right? Like let him cook it up in your spirit a little bit, and start with that one word for yourself, right? Reflect on that one word and see how it plays a part in your circles, in your community, in your job, in your relationships. And I think that's a great start.
Yeah, just as you were saying that, the word that popped into my head was courage. Because in my case, what I think the reason that popped in my head is that there are already existing relationships, many of them I have, that are in need of reconciling momentum in
Yeah.
them. And I feel just kind of stymied.
Yeah.
In some of these relationships, I don't know what next to do. And actually, if I look behind the curtain with that, it's more about my courage and
Mm,
less about I don't know what to do.
that's
Um,
good.
you know what I mean? And so it exposes something in me that has made me stand back from maybe some things that I would have creatively tried, but I said instead, I don't know what to do. Um, so courage is the word that came up for me, and that what you just said will really help me to put that on the front burner for the next 30 days. Well, what does courage mean like for me then in these
Yeah.
unreconciled relationships, or these relationships that there's tension in? What will courage look like? And maybe I can have that. I love the way you said put that on the burner to in my relationship with Jesus, to put that in front of him all the time so
Yeah.
that he can guide and direct me as to what that means.
I love that, Rick. I think sometimes there's an obstacle, or there's a blinder, or there's something that's not even allowing us to fully move into, a certain direction. And so I love, that you thought about that, just the word courage. I mean, I think, uh, you know, all of us need to find out, what's that one word even that may prevent us from just being able to connect in a space that we wouldn't normally be connected to.
So good. Well, we just want to, Fred and I just want to invite you all, whoever's watching this right now, take some time to pause, just as we just did, and ask God, what's my word for the
Yeah,
next month that you would like me to pay attention to? And then please remind me of the word every day. Help me to remember that word, and that you and I are talking about this
right.
for this month, and we'll see what happens by the end of the month. Because what we really want, I love how you started off with this, Fred, about we have the best desires, the best intentions, but we often don't have a plan. And the plan leads to a habit, and the habit leads to a change in your life. And that's what we
Absolutely.
really want. We want to change in our habits. We just invite you to ask God, what's your word for the month, and then
Yeah,
Him bring it back up for you. And um, Fred's 5R process is a process that he takes individuals and groups through to help them move toward profound reconciliation. The profound reconciliation doesn't happen outside of a plan, that's for sure. And so Fred's 5R process helps you do that. So if you'd like to talk to Fred, connect with him about this, see what the possibilities are for you in this new year, there's ways to get in touch with him right below this video. And then we'll see you in a couple of weeks with another new conversation. See you soon.